Dun, 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 dun,
No, now you're just turning to Star Wars.
Is it Star Wars or
yes, you just did the Star Wars.
Okay, no. Dun, 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
The thing is, now you're right, but I'm still hearing Star Wars for some reason. My mind is destroyed.
It actually sounds a little bit like Star Wars.
It sounds like the Imperial March. Damn it!
Maybe it was fashion after it.
That is Star Wars right there. That's exactly the Star Wars theme.
It's the Batman though. It's dun 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 dun. That's how it goes. So maybe it sounds similar.
I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
What's up, YouTube world? This is Underdeveloped. Tyrell and Nick here with our guest, my boy Vash. We are film industry workers right now. We met in the Made in New York production assistant program, and he also runs a channel. I don't know if you heard of it, Anime Lately, and also Careful for Spoilers. So hit the links in the descriptions.
Yeah. We'll have all of his links down below.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow my boy. He's streaming. He knows all about anime. He does reviews just like me. Maybe even better. Who knows? So yeah, watch out for him. Subscribe to him. So yeah, let's just get into this movie, man. The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, who directed War of the Planet of the Apes, and then he had Rise. Which are both great movies. All three of them was pretty good. The DP for this movie is Greg Fraser. I don't know if you know of him. I don't know if you know of him. He also did Dune.
Yeah, both this and Dune are both beautiful looking movies.
Yeah.
I love about the cinematography in this film that there was a lot of close-up shots, and usually a lot of close-up shots kind of annoy me because like we're way too close to the camera, to the person. But for this movie, Matt Reeves did it very well. You know, showing the close-up shots to Bruce and to Catwoman. Like, it shows that all these people type of emotions of how they hate, Falcone, Gotham City itself. So it shows of how these people express of who they are.
Mm-hmm. So Batman stars, of course, Robert Pattinson as Batman, Bruce Wayne Batman. This is his first time donning the cowl. He has a lot of heavyweights that came before him. So he was in Good Time by the Safdie brothers, which is good. He was in Tenet. He was in The King, which Timothée Chalamet. So he really upped his career since that.
Yeah, he was great in Lighthouse.
Lighthouse, yeah, that was a great movie. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. There's always anything that starts with a W-O. Zoe Kravitz as Cat...
Why is it that it's always the words woman and universe that just mess you up?
Yes,
like this?
always the
Why?
Okay, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. And we why are you laughing? Come on, let's do this. We have Colin Farrell, who is the Penguin. We had Paul Dano as the Riddler. Jeffrey Wright from good show Westworld as Jim Gordon. We have a black Jim Gordon now. Cool, dig it. He captures the vibe, the essence. It's a pretty loaded cast.
Barry Keoghan's in this, but he doesn't play anything major, like, at all.
Oh, and Peter Sarsgaard too. He was in this as well.
Yeah. And we didn't even mention John Turturro.
Yeah, of course, John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. Not bad casting, but it's like this is probably one of his first real serious roles. I mean, and he did good. I thought he did great as a serious crime boss. You know what I mean? Like as a Italian crime boss. Like, I really thought after he killed. I think everybody did a good job. So now that we got the cast out the way, the director out the way, filmmakers and stuff, let's get into this movie. So, pros and cons. Nick, Vash, what do you think of this movie? Good or bad? Let's just get that out the way.
I'm gonna just state it. I forgot how Todd feels about this, or I don't know how Nick feels. To me, the Batman, Robert Pattinson, knock out the park. To me, is better than the Dark Knight trilogy, because I don't know why the Dark Knight trilogy is overrated as fuck. Because I don't think it's that great. Overall.
Speaking for somebody that likes Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
You triggered the biggest Nolan fanboy there is.
Trust me, I have met other Nolan fanboys, and I still will tell them the straight up honest truth.
How can you like? So you like Amazing Spider-Man better than The Dark Knight?
I don't know about that, but
But you like those movies, so why do you think those movies are overrated?
Dude, you can still like a movie and think it's overrated. It doesn't mean it's bad.
You're comparing tomato and oranges with a whole different franchise and movie. This is the Batman movie directed by Matt Reeves reviewed, not the Dark Knight trilogy.
I know, but first thing, let's get it out the way. Dark Knight is not only one of the greatest Superman movies of all time. It laid a foundation for other Superman movies to want to go dark and do other shit and get realistic.
I don't know about that. I totally disagree. Just because Nolan said that he's gonna make a grounded movie of Batman, it did not make. The Punisher, Batman, has always been down and greedy. Just because Nolan stated that he's gonna make a ground and reality film of Batman,
which he did.
Cool.
Did it splendid.
But he did it well. I don't think he did it splendid. And also the fight choreography sucks ass in those films.
It's not the choreography. I'd argue it's the editing that's just not great in those.
No, I love
the choreography.
I love because it made it. I love the fast moving because he's kind of moving so fast, and it's kind of jarring, and I like that.
Yeah, no, but think of the fights, the punches. If you look up close up, the fights don't look like they're actually hitting to the actual people sometimes.
Oh, that probably explains the editing then. They probably do that just to hide that.
Probably, but even though I still didn't think that I didn't think that killed the movie. I mean, you talk about a movie.
For me,
2 hours later.
Okay, all right. Let's first thing first. Dark Knight is one of the greatest films of all time. Let me just get that out the way. Cool. Now let's get into
your opinion. So it's great.
No, it's facts. I mean, dude, almost everyone. It's even listed as like one of the greatest films of all. At least of the 2000s.
Those are opinions from articles, opinions from people. Not everyone feels like that. I could bring you 10, 20, 100 other people that don't feel that way. But anyway.
Forgive them, audience. They know not what they do. Alright, but anyway.
You're such a fanboy, man.
That movie is fucking amazing, dude.
6.5 hours later.
It's the next great Batman
let's look at
which obviously this film borrowed from in terms of tone.
Let's look at all.
1 eternity later.
Better movie.
Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson are better than Christian Bale too. As well, I'm gonna just say that too.
I actually agree.
First up, no. First, Christian Bale covered the trifecta. He was a good Bruce Wayne. He was okay.
Bruce
Wayne. He was eccentric. He was distant.
He is good.
And he also was scary as Batman.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Thing is, I really didn't care for it at first, but like the more it went on, the more it really kind of grew on me. Like I like the more crime thriller aspect of it. Like it feels very inspired by Seven of all movies.
Dude, the pitch for this movie had to been Batman meets Seven.
Yeah, like the thing 100%. Is, I find it hilarious because like this movie was pitched like this movie is like advertised as an adaptation to The Long Halloween, but like I really started enjoying it more when I got like to the half of it. I'm like, oh wait a minute, this is Hush. What the fuck? This turned to Hush.
It is a mixture of both comics.
Oh, it is.
It is a mixture because this is his own thing that stands alone. It just took inspiration from these two comics, sprinkled a little bit of his own shit in it with the tone of Seven. Because that scene where he was like the thumb drive, that whole tone of that scene was all Seven, David Fincher, 100%. Mm-hmm. But it does stand on its own. It is a different tone. Like I felt it's a little like Tim Burton inspired in terms of like at least the way, like the aesthetic of Gotham. Mixed with a little bit of Arkham Knight.
Well, they did have Catwoman and Penguin in the same movie.
Yeah, also too. So that also gave. I love the open world thing because it's like these people are already embedded into the system. Yeah. It's not. We're not building origin stories of anyone. Everybody's already kind of. Because we already got them 100 times over. We don't need it.
I'm really glad they did because it makes the world feel more dynamic and alive. Like this is the most alive Gotham's really felt on screen.
Exactly because it's an open world because the cartoons are already doing it where we already have the comic book characters already embedded into the city, which is into the world. So like same thing with this. We don't need to establish these people because we already know the people, and we already know their stories and we know they exist. We don't need origin stories. We don't need it.
Mm-hmm. Quick question: you said that this is not like the Batman you're used to, that who's stealth and who's more in the dark and everything and does kung fu. But if you didn't notice throughout the film, he only used his one batarang to cut a door open and also to grab a hook. He didn't use his batarang for anything else. He only used his skills, meaning to punch, and use his detective skills to find things and information. this is his year 2 experience as Batman. He doesn't know much of his other skill set that we know in the Nolan.
But the thing
or
is,
the
he's
BVS.
supposed to have these skills already because he trained for years.
But
different
we don't
people.
know no, we don't know that. We assume that from the comics and from the other previous films. All we
Also,
know
comics
in
and
this film-
cartoons.
No,
You're-
but thing is, in this film, the only knowledge we know,
I know, yes.
is that Alfred trained him to fight. That's all we know. We don't know if he went to the League of Assassins, if he went to China to learn. We don't know any backstory of this version of Bruce, aka Batman. The only thing we know is that Thomas Wayne, he did his messed up with the whole renewal fund. He chose the wrong people to make business.
Yeah, which kind of reminds me of
And
Telltale, by the way.
so,
That, like, yeah, go ahead.
So like he doesn't. We don't know much about this version of Batman. This version of Matt Reeves of Robert Pattinson, we're seeing year 2 where he has still little experience, like of who the Bruce that we're looking at. So that's the version that we have only been known to see.
Yeah, and I wish we actually got to know this Bruce, in my opinion. But I get it. It really wasn't about. It really wasn't about like his and Bruce. It's really about. It was a crime thriller. Batman was a detective. Jim Gordon was his partner, and together they were trying to solve these goddamn crimes.
Yeah, like it really. Yeah, like honestly, I thought the way they used Bruce here was very fitting because here Bruce Wayne just felt like a disguise the detective would go in to go places.
But
I thought that was
that's
very
what it
fitting.
is. Bruce's mask is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and Riddler said that, which is great. Which
I love how the
yeah.
Riddler brought that up.
Yeah.
If the Riddler brought up, he said it in the jail, so it's like, no, your mask is Bruce, and plus, this in this movie when he went out as Bruce Wayne for the first time for the mayor death or for the funeral, he didn't act like Bruce because he didn't speak once to nobody.
Yeah, because he hasn't fully realized. He just trapped in his
he-
Batman persona.
He just showed his demeanor and you just to look around, and that's why fuck with Patterson is because he did a lot of the body language type of acting. He showed with his emotion, his eyes, his body. He showed with his shoulders. That is how much he did well with this character for Batman.
Like, yeah, a lot of it was just the writing. Like, obviously, Matt Reeves was going for a young Bruce Wayne who still hasn't materialized a lot of like, the Batman Bruce Wayne nuances yet. Because we get who this Bruce Wayne is. This Bruce Wayne does not give a fuck about anything that isn't related to taking out criminals and shit.
The Riddler has always been a weird character in the comics, on the cartoons, on the game, and I'm happy he was in this nice, bright ass, highlighted, beautiful green spandex, because that would have been pretty interesting. That you have a Batman in a nice Kevlar type of armor, but then you're the Riddler in a nice spandex. So with this suit, that it was still green, but it was a very, ruggedy street version type of suit, and I didn't mind it. But I just questioned the glasses still needed. But I guess Paul Dano character, the Riddler, I guess he was a bit blind, so I guess he still needed the glasses with the suit on still. So that's a bit questionable for me.
Yeah.
But I felt like the Riddler was smart, because that's how he always played it. In the comics and in the games, he always played this game. The first few puzzles for Bruce, aka Batman, has always been easy. That's why he solved those puzzles very fast. But then those puzzles kept getting harder. Bring the El Rata to the light.
Yeah,
and it was like, El Rata, and I just love how the penguin was like, y'all don't know Spanish, it's called La Rata, not El Rata.
Yeah, it was La Rata. By the way, Colin Farrell was great.
He was.
Keep going.
I didn't expect to have a Spanish joke like this in a Batman film, and I loved it. So me just being Spanish and just saying that type of comedy, even though it's for 2 minutes.
Yeah, you appreciate it.
Yeah, just seeing a small one mistake saying El Rata and La Rata, like that makes a big difference in Spanish. So I just love how those mistakes happen. But I love what Paul Dano, the Riddler, told Bruce, the Batman in jail back in Arkham, because this is another reminder that Bruce is in his year 2 as Batman, because he said, "Oh, you're not the smartest and greatest detective that we all assume to be." But that's 100% correct, because this is year 2. He had the skill set from the technology. He had the skills to know how to look places and see the blood prints in the floor and see the little small things going on around.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't know how to glide yet.
but he doesn't have enough skill sets to solve all these puzzles so fast because he's only year 2 Batman. So that's a reminder why he let all the water flow, but not because it's his fault, but it's because he's still learning how to be the smartest and greatest detective that he has that name to be.
I'm really not a big fan of the Riddler's freak out in the jail. Something about his performance, it just sounded, it just didn't sound like real.
He kind of sounded like he kind of did a rendition of what he did in There Will Be Blood with that baptism scene. Like, turned this like the tonality, like the way he was. I don't know if you saw that movie.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I've no.
But yeah, like to me, that's like.
Thing is, like, I get what they're going for though. Like they're going they're going for the thing where, like in Death Note, when Light Yagami just like goes fucking nuts near the end. He's like all so full of himself. Like, it's very much that kind of vibe. I'm like, it would be great if he didn't, if it captured more of that kind of vibe. Because the big difference between something like Death Note and something like this is in a show like Death Note, you have two major geniuses playing off of each other constantly. Like, they're always trying to outwit the other. But here it's mostly just Batman following his trail, eventually getting outwitted by Riddler, and then coming up with a solution to outwit Riddler at the very last second. Yeah. It's not the exact same kind of dynamic, but it's enough to remind me of it.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I just love that kind of I just love the kind of like battle of minds. It's a big part of what I like about this movie. I like how we finally see Batman be a detective in a fucking Batman movie. Yeah. You know, we don't see that.
He was a little bit in Dark Knight. There's a lot of scenes where he actually was analyzing shit and doing stuff. But this one was fully centered on him being a detective, which is very new. You know what I'm saying? Which I like, because I don't want to see the same thing. As Batman has been done many times over many lifetimes, you know what I mean? Like, we need to explore other aspects of him, which is great. You know, so I'm glad we got that, because I wouldn't want to see the same thing.
Yeah.
We got the same thing.
Exactly.
So that's what also made this movie work for me.
For me, I agree with you, Nick, but I also like that moment when the Riddler broke down. It's because he thought that he planned everything out. So, like, for example, like, I felt like if you haven't met the Riddler before, he's a perfectionist. So when he had all these riddles, everything, he had his whole game. He knew that he was Bruce, and then he was hoping, yo, come join me, you know, let's rule Gotham. Yeah. And then and the Bruce like, nah, bro, I'm good. The Riddler's like, wait, hold up.
Yeah, he called him evil. He called him scum.
So like, wait, I planned all this out. I planned all these jokes, these riddles for you, and you're not even going to join me? Yeah. So, like, he had a mental breakdown, which makes sense because, A, he's in
That's exactly
Arkham
what that
Asylum.
was. Yeah.
So, like, he had a Arkham Asylum broke down. 2, he's a perfectionist. So, like, him understanding that his plan just failed, and he thought the Batman, Bruce, was going to join him. And 3 is that he didn't see this in his outcome, and he said that, like, wait, I didn't see this happening. This was not supposed to happen. So, like, all these 3 things is what saw me like, okay, I understand why he had a mental breakdown.
Oh no, I completely agree. Like, I never, like, my problem with the breakdown isn't the fact that a breakdown happened. I just don't like the delivery he was giving during that breakdown. It just did not feel very genuine.
But I thought that worked for me personally.
Honestly, I felt like it was a little too hysterical. I felt like it didn't feel like an actual crazy person. Like, it felt like somebody trying to be crazy.
Yeah, somebody in drama class trying to.
Yeah, that's how it came across to me. That was my only real issue with that scene.
I didn't mind it though. I'm all down for the drama. How do you feel about the Batman suit, by the way?
I like it. It makes sense why his suit's not that perfect. This is year 2. It makes sense that he has the money for all this Kevlar. Makes sense why he's been doing so much with his suit. It looks very good. You know, it's not perfect and clean, but it makes sense. You know, he's just year 2 Batman, and I'm curious to see who was his tech guy, or
we didn't see Lucius Fox, which I'm surprised.
Yeah, because
he should have a go-to tech guy. Because where's he getting all shit from? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, he doesn't have a Fox version in this, so curious to see, like, who's his tech guy, or is Bruce just smart to do all this tech stuff in this version of Batman?
Nah, I highly doubt it. But
Ty, he is smart.
I know he's smart, but I mean, he's not like. He's not somebody. Hold on. I didn't mean to make it seem like he's dumb. No, he's not dumb.
He has built the Watchtower in the comics and in the cartoons. He has built the Watchtower before. He
has. Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I know he's smart. But I didn't know he was like a tech guy though.
Dude,
I just know he's good at analyzing things and like.
Dude, he made like that Brother Eye fucking AI that almost destroyed the world in one dimension.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he's like crazy smart.
It's just
Okay, I know he built shit like okay. My bad.
He made his own Skynet.
Like,
Oh, really?
he's smart.
Yes.
Why
Yeah,
look at
like,
these Oracle and shit?
Because that's his choice. He'd rather be on the field and everything else, and also that's his mentality to be vengeance.
Oh, what about he learn all that shit from? I'm like, I don't know about Batman, but I haven't read a lot of Batman comics, so a lot of shit he did I don't know. I'm like,
He owns Wayne Tower, who is known for technology.
but that runs in, but that runs in the family. The Wayne Tech runs in. Isn't like inherited the company?
Yes, it's inherited through the company, but it's also inherited where he could also go to the science people and grab the projects, learn them, read the books. Remember, his parents died at the age of 8 and 7. He had those 10, 15 years that he could literally go to school and just learn all this technology stuff. And that's what he has done. He has these degrees that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
It's just that the whole city of Gotham to see him as a playboy philanthropist that just brings girls home and fuck them.
Yeah.
That's what people see him as.
Yeah.
But that's not who he truly is.
Yes, he's probably Tony Stark level. I know Tony Stark is that smart.
Like, dude,
I didn't know he was that smart.
In the comics, he is like depicted as being at least on the same level as Mr. Miracle. He is smart.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yo, this is news to me. Sorry, guys. I'm a Batman fan, but I read too much comics. Like, I watched the cartoon. I read certain comics. And I've also watched movies, you know what I mean? So none of it portrayed him as being that smart. I know he's smart. I know he's good at analytical things. I know he's good with his hands and practical.
The more I think about it, there really aren't that many examples of that in the movie.
Exactly. I didn't know he was that smart to build AIs. Like, that's like next level tech smart. Like, why does he use just Fox then? You know what I mean? Like, if he's that smart, you know?
But that's why in this movie I like a lot because it shows his actual smart side. It shows the detective side. It shows his how good he is at what he does.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I love about it.
And he's also good at deduction too. Like that's what I like too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which obviously makes him a good detective.
and but what I love in storytelling for this film, mad reason they get in the film when Batman went to the mayor's house and when he saw the kid and them, locked eyes, felt, Bruce saw himself as a kid. I'm like, shit, that's me when parents got killed. But then I love how at the end of the film, when Bruce, aka Batman, when he tried to give his hand out to the mayor, she was like, nah, you're a bit creepy. But guess who the first person that gave the hand? It was the little kid of the dead mayor that happened before. So I love that storytelling. You show the kid from the beginning and then show the kid from the end, the same thing. And he's the one that accepts his boy Batman's hand. And then after that, everyone else grabs his hand because if a little boy could grab this guy, the Vengeance, the Batman, the Dark Knight, if he could grab his hand, that means everyone just went out and grabbed his hand too. And to me, that was beautiful.
Yeah, so for me, the Batman, my Rotten Tomatoes score would be a solid 88. Solid 88. I think this film definitely brought something new to the character that we haven't seen on the big screen before. It did a good job of balancing different storylines from different comics and putting it together in a decent way. Dude, I just love I love Selena Kyle, Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle, Colin Farrell, unrecognizable. I mean, amazing. He really felt like a Dawn, you know what I mean? Like, I'm interested in seeing this story. I'm mad we didn't see more of him. I love the story. I love the idea of, like, I just love the detective aspect of it. Like, Batman just uncovering more and more conspiracies. Because Gotham is a city laid by conspiracies. And by them doing that, fleshed out Gotham as a city more.
It really did.
You know what I'm saying? And it made Gotham become... It really made me realize that Gotham is like a very corrupt place. And everybody's controlled by everybody. So everything from all different directions came together as one thing. You know what I mean? That it's connected. Everything was very intertwined. And I just love how they put the piece together. It was like a real detective.
All right, so for me, I feel like the Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, played by Robert Pattinson, I have to give it a 9.5 out of 10. For that, I guess it's a 95 out of 100.
Yeah.
It hits to me on the nail of what a year two Batman is, who still is learning, making mistakes, still learning the ropes of how to do a well-delivered Batman. Him learning that he has to play two roles as Bruce and Batman. Him learning of how to treat Alfred, telling him that he ain't my dad. I'm like, boy, he literally did as race you.
Yeah,
like he is he did as a stepfather. So stop trying to beat this up. Him actually letting people close to him, aka Zoe, aka Winter City and Kyle, like actually him liking somebody, you know, falling for somebody, actually wanting somebody close to him because of him running, of him driving away inside the motorcycle, and you know she'd be, you know, straight behind him. Him staring at the mirror, that shot was beautiful because it shows that he wants her to stay, but he knows that he has to let her go and do her own adventure.
Yeah.
And I love the chemistry between Jim Gordon and Batman. It shows the dual cops of who's the good cop and who's the better cop, stuff like that. So it shows that they each has their own way, but they both respect their own types of methods. So I respect that a lot.
Because they both have the same animals.
Matt Reeves did a beautiful cinematography throughout the whole films, a beautiful direction with the camera work, the whole CG, the whole special effects, everything was beautiful. I really have no complaint. I didn't watch much trailers, so I was not spoiled to see what was going on throughout the time, because I know some people said they were spoiled for some scenes, you know, the actions through the trailer. Like, hey, that's what trailers are made for. They are a marketing strategy. So if you're spoiled, that's your fault. But at the end of the day, that is a marketing strategy for you to bring you to the film.
I like this movie a lot too. I'm not sure I'd give as high of a score as either of you. I think I'm probably sitting more like an 85, 86 kind of territory.
I'm as close
like
to me.
mid. Yeah, it's pretty close. But really, it's just that, while this is a very good movie, there's just a lot of little nitpicks and gripes that just kind of bug me. Again, nothing at all that would ruin the experience, of course. Really, it's just my picky ass being my picky ass. Like, for example, I usually don't care for the more emo-ish takes on Batman, but that's what they were going
Honestly,
for. And for what they were going for, they did a good job of realizing that. So I can't
exactly. Because the thing is, honestly, I didn't care for that too going in. Especially when he looked back at Alfred with his fucking with his black eyes, you know, real gothic looking. First off, his match looks like straight out of like Tim Burton's nutsack. I mean, that shit looks so Tim Burton-y, bro. It's not even funny. This movie was good, and this movie definitely it had to sit with me for me to really be like, oh, you know, I truly fuck with this. This is something good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think this is very solid. This is one of the best superhero films I've seen in a minute.
Yeah. One thing I really appreciate is that, because like I was concerned a bit going into this because like, oh, it's going to be this big bloated movie with all these like different people showing. But like, no, I feel like everyone gets a good amount of screen time. Yeah. It's a 3-hour movie, but it really feels like it feels like it kind of needs to be that length. It doesn't feel like there's any scenes that are there just to pad out the movie. And I really appreciate that.
Exactly, and I knew that because like they've been doing it in other DC contents for a while now. Like this open world of people, of characters, you know what I mean, comic characters in it, intertwined. So it's like I just knew they were just gonna be part of the world, not, you know what I mean, and part to guide the plot. Riddler, it wasn't multiple villains. It was Riddler. Mm-hmm. He was the main guy, set everything up, and he had to encounter different people to get to the Riddler, because he was the one that Riddler was sending him on these goose chases, whatever. You know. Yeah. Like, so that really, I thought that really was well done. Just well done characterization, well done storyboarding, well done storyline. Yeah, man. Like it was a solid movie. Batman aces, man.
Yeah, overall, good movie. Go see it.
And with that, I think it's time to wrap it up, guys. If you like VASH, please subscribe to the channel, Anime Lately, and also
all of his social media links too.
Social media links.
Follow him.
Yep.
He's a good guy. Follow his ass.
Yep. And he does have a Twitter page, and also follow. I'm sorry. Watch for spoilers, right?
Careful for spoilers.
Careful. Okay, and then watch his other channel, Careful for Spoilers. So he has 2 good channels. Keep a lookout on that. Subscribe, follow him. He has good shit. Mm-hmm. And if you like this video, if you hate it, whatever, just follow us. Give us a like, comment, whatever. Help us grow and help build this community, man. Hope you like this, and hope to see you in the next one.
What would you do if there was a child right in front of you?